Oliver, we've had news today of yet another settlement by UBS with the regulators, though softened a little by some profit news. Could you put this into perspective? They seem to have settled rather a lot recently.
Yes, well, the latest settlement is with US regulators over deals involving residential mortgage-backed securities, coming back to bite them. This was over deals in the mid-2000s, so in fairly deep history now. But the settlement, they haven't said how much it is, but it's part of an overall 850 million Swiss franc charge for the second quarter. So it's probably a fairly chunky settlement they've made.
Absolutely, it's a lot of money. But on the profit side, are things looking better? I think we're going to be publishing a long piece about UBS, really looking at its strategy.
Yeah, things are looking better. I think the market was fairly pleased with the numbers. The shares jumped a bit this morning. And UBS will see this as part of its slow shift away from investment banking towards wealth management. Last year, it decided to radically shrink its investment bank and really focus on the wealth management side of the business. And the aim for the investment bank now is to serve wealth management clients. UBS says this is a new capital light strategy that is still gives it exposure to some of the most interesting areas of investment banking, but without a lot of the added risk.
Is that good long term for investors? One can see its attractions at the moment when investment banking is rather out of fashion, but what happens down the road when everything starts to heat up again?
Well, when things start to heat up, obviously investment banks have kept a lot of money in investment banking, will do much better. When things start to pick up, that's when investment banking really pays off. And there may be some temptation for UBS to put more capital that way. But for the moment, investors are very enthusiastic about UBS's strategy. The shares have risen. They're more highly rated now than they were before the strategic change. And the view is very much that this has taken risk out of the UBS model.
Do you think it will work?
If UBS sticks to its guns and maybe goes even further than it has done already, there's an activist at Knight Vinc, they want UBS to go further with shrinking an investment bank, and that's something that perhaps UBS should consider. But there's a long way to go yet, and more importantly, there's a big book of non-core assets that UBS still has to deal with.
Thanks, Oliver. It's an interesting strategy. We'll see how it works out.